Let me ask you something. What's the most reliable machine you've ever owned? I bet it's not your phone. Definitely not your car. Nope. It's that amazing biological engine right there in your chest, working nonstop every single second of your life. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the incredible mechanics of the human heart.
You know, for being such a powerhouse, it's actually pretty small. It only weighs about 300 grams. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the size of your clenched fist. And get this tiny organ pumps blood through a network of vessels so vast that if you laid them all end to end, they'd stretch over 60,000 miles. That's just mind-blowing, right?
Okay, so to really get how this all works, we're going to follow the journey of a single drop of blood. Think of this diagram as our roadmap. You can see two critical loops here. One, the pulmonary circuit, which goes to the lungs, and two, the systemic circuit, which goes to, well, everywhere else in the body. And right at the center of it all, that's our incredible four-chambered pump. All right, so the heart is basically two pumps working side by side, totally in sync. The right side's job? It's like the local delivery service. It sends blood on a quick trip over to the lungs to pick up oxygen. But the left side? Oh, the left side has the much bigger job. It's the long-haul trucker pumping that freshly oxygenated blood out to every single part of your body. So let's start our journey. We're going to follow a single drop of blood that's just finished its delivery route. It's dropped off all its oxygen, and now it's heading back to the heart for a super important refueling mission. Okay, so our tired little drop of blood makes its way back to the heart through one of two massive veins, the superior or inferior vena cava. And as you can see here, they both dump that returning blood right into the right atrium. This is like the heart's main receiving dock. Now, when we say deoxygenated, it's a bit of a misnomer. It doesn't mean there's zero oxygen in there. Think of it more like a delivery truck that's just dropped off its packages. It's delivered its oxygen payload to all our cells, and now it's ready for a refill. This blood is a darker red, and its one and only mission is to get back to the lungs and fast. So, from that receiving dock, the right atrium, the blood needs to move to the next chamber. And to do that, it passes through this brilliant little one-way door called the tricuspid valve. This thing is crucial. It makes absolutely sure that blood only flows in one direction, slamming shut to prevent any of it from flowing backward when the heart squeezes. All right, once it's inside the right ventricle, it's go time. This is the first big push. With a powerful squeeze, the right ventricle pumps that deoxygenated blood up through another valve, the pulmonary valve, and into the pulmonary artery. And just like that, the first leg of our journey is done. The blood is officially on its way to the lungs. Okay, after a quick stop at the lungs to pick up a fresh tank of oxygen, our little blood drop is back and ready for the main event. It returns to the heart, but this time it's heading to the powerful left side, getting prepped for a high-speed dash to the rest of the body. Now it's bright red, fully loaded with oxygen, and it flows from the lungs right into the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. And here's a fun little bit of trivia for you, something that trips a lot of people up. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood, while the pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood. It's the total opposite of what you'd normally expect for arteries and veins. So you can see here how all four of the heart's valves work in concert. Our blood drop, now in the left atrium, passes through yet another one-way door, the mitral valve. And this door leads directly into the heart's true powerhouse, the left ventricle. So why do we call it the powerhouse? Well, just look at the difference here. The muscular walls of the left ventricle are about 3 times thicker than the right ventricles. And that's not a mistake, it's by design. Think about it. The right ventricle only has to pump blood to the lungs, which are right next door. That's a short trip. But the left ventricle, it needs to generate enough force to shoot that blood all the way up to your brain and clear down to the tips of your toes. It's a whole different ballgame. And then, with one final mighty squeeze, the left ventricle contracts, forcing that oxygen-rich blood through the aortic valve and into the aorta, the superhighway of your circulatory system. From there, it branches out to deliver life-giving oxygen to every single cell in your body. And just like that, the journey is complete, only to start all over again in less than a second. Okay, so we've seen how the heart pumps blood around, but what tells it when to pump? What's the conductor of this amazing orchestra? Well, it turns out the heart isn't just muscle. It has its own sophisticated electrical system. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the invisible force that coordinates every single beat. This right here, this is the heart's internal wiring. It's called the cardiac conduction system. And the star of the show is this tiny little cluster of cells up in the right atrium, called the sinoatrial node, or SA node for short. This is your body's natural pacemaker. It's the little spark plug that generates the electrical signal to get the whole process started and sets the rhythm for every beat.
It all happens in 4 beautifully simple steps. First, the SA node fires off an electrical spark. That signal instantly spreads across both atria, making them contract and push blood down into the ventricles. Then, the signal hits another node, the AV node, which acts like a gatekeeper. It actually pauses the signal for just a fraction of a second. Now, this little delay is absolutely crucial because it gives the ventricles time to fill up completely with blood. Finally, the signal is released, travels down to the ventricles, and causes them to contract in this perfectly coordinated squeeze from the bottom up. It's just a masterpiece of biological engineering. You know, understanding all this amazing biology is fascinating, right? But connecting it back to our own lives is really what matters most. This incredible engine is built to last a lifetime. But just like any high-performance engine, it needs the right maintenance. And that leads us to maybe the most important question of all. Given everything this amazing organ does for us, every minute of every day, without ever taking a break, how do we take care of it?
Well, the good news is it's not some big secret. The steps are pretty straightforward, but they make a huge difference. It's about knowing your numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol. It's about fueling your body with good stuff, like more fruits, veggies, and whole grains. Of course, you gotta be physically active and keep a healthy weight. And, critically, don't smoke and find ways to manage your stress. All of this helps prevent nasty stuff like coronary heart disease. That's when plaque builds up and clogs the very arteries that feed your heart muscle with oxygen. It's like cutting off the fuel line to your engine.
To really, truly appreciate just how special our heart is, it helps to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Our 4-chambered heart isn't just some random design. It's the incredible product of millions of years of evolution. It's a masterpiece of efficiency.
Just take a look at this. A fish has a pretty simple 2-chambered heart with a single loop. It works, but it's not super efficient. Then you move up to an amphibian with a 3-chambered heart. Now we're getting somewhere. It has a partial double loop, but there's still some mixing of oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood. But then you get to us mammals. We have a 4-chambered heart with a complete double loop system. And what that means is total complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. It's the most efficient oxygen delivery system out there, and it's what powers our warm-blooded, high-energy way of life.
So, the next time you feel your pulse, just stop for a second. Take a moment and really appreciate what's happening inside you. That's the steady, reliable beat of a sophisticated, nonstop biological engine, a true masterpiece of nature that's working tirelessly for you. The only question left is, what are you going to do for it today?